Hi, Elaine here. After the most recent presidential election, I was feeling disheartened with politics at a national level. In an attempt to keep sane, I began reaching into my backyard to talk with people who were not elected into office about how they were working to safekeep our communities. I wanted to talk about politics from the people. Now, with We Have Action, an indivisible group based in Arlington, Virginia, I'm bringing those conversations to you. This Saturday, October 18th, there is going to be a day of protest. I hope you've heard of it. Mentions of a No King's Day might have shown up in your social media or been brought up to you by a friend. I'm going to do something a little different this episode in anticipation of the upcoming event and talk about my personal reasons for protesting. If you've ever been to or witnessed people showing up to protest, you'll know that not everyone's motives for attending are the same. The one most often used to entice people into participating is to protest against something. It's no wonder that this is the default call to action. It's inherent in the word protest, which means to stand in disapproval of or objection to something. It's easiest to bring people together to give voice to the harms they're feeling. And, understandably, it seems to be the pressing reason on everybody's mind this time around. When I see calls to organize, it more often than not comes with a reminder of the dire implications that will be enacted by the opposition if we fail to stand in their way. But as important as it is to stand in opposition of the people working to diminish your power, and it is very important, that is not why I protest these days. For myself, I honestly haven't found standing in opposition to be the greatest motivator for showing up. One, because it feels like no matter what we say or do, no matter how we make our case, the Republicans will ride roughshod over the rights and liberties of the American people in pursuit of power for themselves, whether we attend a single protest or not. And two, because it serves as a dispiriting reminder of the rise in authoritarianism that we currently face. It can feel hopeless and helpless to stop it. It's understandable that some people would rather focus on their less depressing everyday lives, if that is an option. And it is never too hard to find an excuse not to attend. Errands to run that you cannot otherwise take care of, or making time for a good friend or family member. For me, what is inspiring is protesting for instead of against. Instead of focusing on what we are trying to fight, imagine the world that we could be living in. Show up for the people who can't. There are so many people right now who can't show up. One of the biggest problems in our country is the lack of a security net for so many people. They lack the resources to make the time or the space for protest. They can't take the time off, or they are afraid if they show up, they are in danger of being ostracized by their mostly red voting coworkers, or they will be targeted by ICE. And with so many people being villainized, there are too many who are afraid to show up in public spaces. Just going to work or dropping your kid off at school can be a danger to someone vulnerable to Trump and his cronies. These are people who live in our communities, but they are afraid to engage in them completely. Show up for people who don't know how. There are people who want to show up, but haven't had the experience of protesting. We can show them by example how. Be loud, be proud, and represent. Be nonviolent. Have fun. When people see you, they will take heart in your actions and may be more influenced to show up with you the next time. It is hard to stand on a corner alone in defense of your beliefs, but if there is a group there ready to welcome you with open arms, the barrier to entry is lowered. Show up for the joy of showing up. Make a protest a celebration, a confirmation, a reaffirmation that we still live in a country where our individual voices and positions are allowed to be aired. You can see this in the new coverage of the protests in Portland and in Chicago. When ICE shows up with their body armor and disregard for the lives that they are ruining, the protesters show up with joy. They wear costumes, they hold signs, they sing made up songs, they dance. There may be an implicit duty to present yourself, but it should not overshadow the happiness of celebrating our communities that we hold dear and the people that embody our shared values. And here is the main reason that I show up, so that I get better at showing up. Because a protest stands in objection to a party or an action, we think that if we show up one time, we will have fulfilled our civic duty. But our responsibility to our community is not to protest when things get bad, but to learn how to continuously show up for the things that matter. This skill has gotten increasingly difficult as it competes with our other priorities, like showing up for your family, your friends, or your job. Even the distractions of social media and online hobbies can get in the way of being interconnected in our own backyards. Events like a protest allow us the practice of engagement. When we protest, we strengthen our communities. So when, there is no longer a looming threat to stand against, we are better equipped to participate, to build the neighborhoods that we want to live in, and to make sure we don't get this close to authoritarianism again. That all being said, I'd like to invite you to join your community at this upcoming protest, not just to show your displeasure for the current administration, but because you want to celebrate all that we are, all that we can be, all that we will be. Information for signing up is in the show notes. And if you cannot attend, that's okay, because some of those excuses I mentioned earlier are valid reasons for being unavailable. A kid's soccer game that you must attend, or a volunteer opportunity where people are relying on you. But don't let these reasons stop you from participating in the things that matter. Let this serve as a reminder that protests are not the only way we can show up for our communities. Wear a button, put a sign on your front lawn, show up to meetings of like minded people in your neighborhood. Remember to vote in upcoming elections. Whether on Saturday or in the coming days, I hope to see you there. Next week, I'll be back with a new episode where I interview someone working to empower our shared community from the people. Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts to get our upcoming releases. A reminder that early voting has started in Virginia. You can find information to make sure your vote is counted in the episode description. If you would like to join We of Action, you can go to their website at www.wofava.org or follow them on their various social media links, which are also included in the show notes. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Elaine from Related. See you next time.